Welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us. Today I'm having another Magic Talk with Toad. This time, slightly jankier. Say hello, Toad.
Hello, Toad.
Amazing. Discord was being poopy today, so the audio will be a little bit off. Hopefully, we think we have it figured out, but Toad might be a bit quiet.
We're joining you through the magic of Zuckerberg, and he's not a real wizard, so like the magic is not great.
Yeah, he's not even a bad wizard. He's just not a wizard.
He's not a wizard. He's just a guy
Not even
who
just a really
couldn't
shitty guy.
couldn't make friends. Couldn't make friends in college. Made a website instead. Now we're here on the website, and it's low quality, and we apologize, but there's not much we can do because Discord won't let us start a voice call.
Yeah, and Zoom is cringe. So anyway,
I miss Skype. I'm a millennial.
I almost recommended Skype. Anyway, thank you very much for joining us. Today we are going to do something a little bit different. We are going to go over a deck we've gone over before, but we want to keep fresh and fresh on the channel because this is one of our better decks. This is a deck that we really appreciate. This is a deck that we feel is one of our better decks. And
yeah, we've made some updates to the deck, and we're going to go over those briefly, and then we're also going to show you a new deck that I believe has been in a gameplay video but has not been deck teched yet. And then we're going to play these two decks against each other in a best out of 3 match.
yeah, and we might go over a few hands. We'll see how things are going.
I don't think we need to do hands for these two.
Oh,
The scientists, they already kind of know.
All right, we'll just raw dog it, as the kids say.
I don't think the kids say that.
Are you sure?
I don't usually talk to kids about raw dogging, Drew. I want to be honest with you.
That's very fair. Anyway,
like it's both cringe and sus, as the kids do say.
Do the kids say that?
That they call it Ohio, I think, which is unfortunate because we live in Ohio.
You're just gonna dox us like that?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Anyway,
Drew, we have a value vintage content channel, so like the chance that we live in Ohio was already above 90%.
hey, it could be worse. We could be doing CDH.
You could. I'm not going to. Get out of here.
Okay, so for the first deck tonight is a channel staple. It's one of our favorites. It's the Scientist, or better known as Borderpost Sharks.
Yeah.
Because just we need to make it so like it's easy to describe. But it'll be the Scientist in our hearts. That's what we talk about.
It does some science. All right, so let's just go ahead and jump into it. So we've got our we've got our planeswalkers. So Tezzeret is the Scientist. We're down to 2 copies of him because we no longer need a bunch of cards to pitch to Commandeer since we've moved those to the sideboard. And Tezzeret is kind of a backup win condition now. In the early version of the deck, the Seed Shark Tezzeret combo was kind of your main plan, make a 4/4 and then turn it into an 8/8. But with Shorakai and Batterskull in the deck, we kind of are more focused on winning with those. So Tezzeret is more of a draw engine now. And then we want to get that emblem to just really draw through the late game.
And like Tezzeret is nutty because all of his abilities are relevant.
All of his abilities are very good. All 4 lines of this card do something in this deck.
And there's synergy. We love synergy.
Yep.
Like, we'll go over the synergy, but like this man, like honestly, I'm half tempted to put a third one in just because of how good he is, and like maybe trim something else. But like 2 is good for now.
2 or 3 are both good numbers, depending on what you want to focus on. A lot of the changes that we've made to this deck are because of our local meta. So we are playing very much against aggro and control decks and not so much mid range and combo decks. So we want to have draw engines, we want to have removal. We're less worried about counter spells and stacks pieces in this build of the deck.
Though we do get counterspelled and stacked out sometimes.
Occasionally. So we've got the 2 Tezzerets, we've got the 1 Narset. We've only got 3 creatures in the deck, so most of the stuff we can see with Narset besides lands is a hit. And the ability to prevent the opponent from drawing extra cards makes it very hard for them to recover from a balance or sometimes even a sweeper.
Yeah, it's pretty oppressive, and it's a one-of for a reason.
Yep. We've got 2 of the Sharks now. So this is just going to make a bunch of artifact creature tokens. They interact really well with Tezzeret, which is kind of the core of the deck to begin with. But now it's more of a tinker deck. So when you have an incubate token, Tezzeret lets you transform one of them for free each turn.
As long as it's your first activation.
As long as it's your first artifact of activation. And he also can just turn them into a 4/4 plus however many counters they have on them. So it's really easy with Tezzeret and the Seed Shark to make some really large creatures. Like 5/5, 6/6 is no problem, and then even up to 10/10 with Treasure Cruise. And then Monastery Mentor could just be a third shark, but you actually don't want to overload on artifact creatures because sometimes people will have answers to bring in. So against something like Energy Flux or Meltdown, Monastery Mentor is going to give you a board that can just play through those.
Yeah. And with the high abundance of spells we have that are non-creatures, it'll make stuff.
Just like with Narset, almost every spell that we play is going to be triggering Monastery Mentor, which is really good.
Mm.
As far as the sorceries, we've got a Treasure Cruise, which is just a really broken card. We're not on Dig Through Time. The double blue is occasionally tricky with our mana base, which you'll see later is pretty much basic lands. And then it was hard to have both of them, and I think Treasure Cruise in this deck is better because we don't care as much about selecting cards. We care about raw cards. We just want as many cards as possible so that we have as many options as possible. And we don't super care about the instant speed on Dig Through Time either.
Yeah.
We've got 1 Tinker, which is restricted. We're just going to sacrifice an artifact. You can go get any artifact, which we'll see down here. We're mostly doing vehicles and equipments because we also have 2 Anchor to Reality, which is extra Tinkers, where we can sacrifice an artifact or a creature token and just go get any of our vehicles or equipments. Then we've got 1 Balance restricted card, just absolutely brutal with the way we have our mana base set up with the Borderpost as lands. And then we have Shatter the Sky as a 4 of now. That's one of the major changes to the deck because of the aggro meta. We are just fully equipped to punish creature decks.
Yeah. And this deck gets the sickest balances off. Like, its balances are so good.
You're generally with balance. If you cast it in the early game, you're putting your opponent on 1 or 2 lands, 0 creatures, 2 or 3 cards in hand. Sometimes you can put them on 0 lands. Like, it's not unreasonable to just have an opening hand with 2 or 3 border posts and a basic and a balance and then like a tinker, and you just have a busted start.
Yeah.
On the instance, we've got a 2-2 split of lose focus and counterspell. Basically, we like counterspell more, but because counterspells are over $1, we're kind of splitting them with the lose focuses, which are a weaker card, slightly easier to cast, better against other counter magic. Then we've got 3 Consider, just as a little bit of card selection and digging. This will trigger Monastery Mentor. This will make a 1/1 Incubator off the Shark and just draw you a card. And then we've got 4 Swords to Plowshares. Again, a lot of aggro decks in our meta, so we want to have the full play set of swords. And we don't really operate at instant speed. This is more of a tap out control deck that can, when it really, really has to, hold up a removal spell or a counter spell.
Yeah.
If your meta is more combo focused, you can absolutely trim the 3 Considers for another Lose Focus and 2 Spell Pierces, but we just don't have anything like Channel Mirror in our metagame.
Yeah. Our metagame is fairly balanced, and
it's more creature focused. It's more standard control decks. So we've got artifacts. We've got 4 border posts. They're all tapped for blue, and then 4 of them tapped for white, and 4 of them tapped for black. We're not really using the black in this version of the deck, but it is a thing to consider that if you want to splash a color in this deck, you're well equipped to do black just because of how the border posts are set up. You could also do green and add the white green border posts, but green doesn't really offer you much in this kind of deck because green doesn't play nicely with artifacts most of the time.
Is there a blue-green border post?
There are no enemy color border posts. It's one of the cycles that they did not finish. If they finish it, then we would probably make this a 3-color deck, and the 3rd color is not decided yet. This will depend on what we want to run. We've also got a Soul Ring as far as mana rocks go. We've got a playset of Braided Nets, which will lock down a creature for 3 turns and then transform into a draw spell, which draws for how many artifacts we have and then goes back into the deck.
Also, a fun fact about Braided Net, whilst Craft is a sorcery ability, you can use Tezzeret's thing to click for it, so you can pay just a blue.
Yeah.
And then the flip side of it is not sorcery based, so if you do it with Tezzeret's thing, his passive, it costs 1 and a blue to just draw a shit ton of cards.
Yep. If you can stick a Tezzeret in this deck, most of your deck gets much better. And you do have to be careful about activating the border post for mana because that will soak up your once per turn discount from Tezzeret. But it's not usually a problem. Like, usually you have a couple lands that you can use for whatever artifact ability you want to pay for.
Yeah. And then next up we have do you want to go over Battle Scroll or the vehicles next?
Let's just go through all 3 because they're all kind of win conditions.
Okay.
So we've got Valor's Flagship, which is a 7 mana 7/7 vehicle with crew 3, flying first strike, lifelink. So as a body, if you can crew it, this is very, very strong.
It's a 14-point life swing.
It is a 14-point life swing every turn. It's also fairly difficult to kill. Like, obviously they can swords it, but unless they have artifact removal, a 7 toughness creature can be tricky. Like Lightning Bolt, the decks where you really care about the life gain are the ones that are going to struggle to kill this. So if you tinker for this, they're going to need to try and kill your Monastery Mentor or your Incubator token or whatever you're using to crew it. But we also have this specific one in here because of the cycling ability, which just makes a bunch of 1/1 pilot tokens. So this is basically a Decree of Justice, where instead of angels for the cast side, you get a single giant flying lifelinker.
And those are relevant for our other vehicle, Shorikai.
Yeah, we also have Shorikai. Shorikai is an 8/8 with crew 8. So again, this is a really big body that people are going to struggle to kill with toughness-based removal. But it's also a draw engine. This is our primary tinker target. Most of the time, no matter what the matchup is, we're going to go for Shorikai first. unless it's like pure burn where we have to get Batterskull. Because Shorikai over the course of like 3 or 4 turns just creates an insurmountable board advantage. You're going to be up 4 cards, and you're going to have 4 creatures, and they're going to be able to make an 8/8 animated Shorikai. So it really puts your opponent in a spot where they need artifact removal fairly quickly, or they're in a lot of trouble.
The other thing that's really relevant and very funny is Tezzeret. Remember Tezzeret, our buddy Tezzeret? Yeah, his Neg 2 makes the 2 vehicles alive.
Yes, he doesn't turn them into 4/4s because he specifically says if it's a vehicle, it gets its real power and toughness, which means you can use him to just permanently make the flagship a 7/7 with all the abilities. So he's very good with the flagship, and he's very good with Shorikai. Generally, you don't want to turn Shorikai into a creature because that does expose it to like Swords to Plowshares and Power Word Kill.
Yeah.
But if you need to, like if the opponent has a 3/3 and a 2/2 and a 1/1, you don't want to attack with your little guys, you can just send in Shorikai and they have to chump block it pretty quickly.
And then the other thing is, like, if you've fished out most of their other removal, like, Value Vintage is running a good amount of removal, but really not, like, that much. So, like, if you play both of your Sharks, Sharks are gone. Play your Mentor, Mentor's gone. Play Narset, Narset's gone. Play one of the Tezzerets, Tezzerets gone. All of their removal is now gone. So if you can stick a Tezzeret and turn a Shorikai live, they have no way to get rid of it.
You can also just draw with Shorikai until you find a counterspell and just hold up counterspell while you attack with your board of pilots and a Shorikai.
Yeah.
This deck is very good at putting the shields up if they can't mess with your Tinker targets.
Yeah, it's kind of nutty. And then there's Batterskull.
Yeah, then there's Batterskull, which Batterskull is a $4 card. We're putting a lot of our budget into this, but at the same time, it is a cracked Magic card in this deck. Like, tinkering out a 4/4 doesn't feel that good, but it doesn't die. If you have a Tezzeret, you can return it to your hand for 1 mana, and you can equip it for 3 onto one of your Sharks tokens or whatever. So it's just going to be a constant threat on the board. This deck just really punishes people for not playing enough artifact removal. A lot of people are just sideboarding like 1 or 2 single target artifact removal spells, and this deck just runs over you if that's your plan.
I once made Shorikai alive and equipped the Batterskull to it, and it had a 12-point Vigilance Lifelink Swinger.
Yep.
All game.
Yep. It's just,
it was on like turn 6.
How are you racing it? How are you racing a 12/12 Lifelink Vigilance? You have to kill it.
Needless to say, I won that game.
Yep. And then our lands, we just have 10 islands and 8 plains. The border posts have to return a basic land, not any land. And without the Lorien revealed to find typed duels, we're just running full basics. So that actually gives us the budget space to play something like Batterskull because we're not spending $2 or $3 on our lands. We're spending literally nothing on our lands.
Yeah.
Sideboard, we've got the 2 commandeers that used to be in the main deck have moved to the sideboard. You want those against the control decks and the combo decks because the control decks are going to try and kill your Sharks, and you can commandeer their spell. And even if the only legal target for a Swords to Plowshares is the Shark, you can commandeer it and change the target to the same Shark and just make a 7/7 incubator.
Which is pretty relevant.
Yeah. And they've just used their Swords to Plowshares. So do they have a second targeted removal spell immediately? Sometimes, but usually not. So you're now swinging with a 7/7 into their board of usually control, no blockers.
Yeah. Also, if you're playing against like a control or combo deck that really telegraphs their plays, you might lose the first game, but once you sideboard in the second game, you get the commandeers in, and you can just snipe it out of their hands.
Test of talents just wins the game sometimes. So if you can stick a test of talents on like crashing footfalls or living end or hypergenesis or high tide, it's not like the game is just over and they have no outs, but their deck becomes much worse without their key cards. Channel for channel mirror can really make them struggle. Two spell pierce again, like if they're on a combo deck, you want to have a couple spell pierces able to bring in. Like if we're playing against something like Channel Mirror, we can just cut the 4 main deck, Shatter the Skies, bring in 2 Test Talents, 2 Spell Pierce, and then take out some Swords to Plowshares for Commandeers.
Yeah. Then we have 4 Winter Moons, mostly just against Lotus Field decks, or not Lotus Field. Damn it. Zerda Post or Cloud
Uh,
Post.
Cloud Post and Gates is where you're usually bringing in Winter Moon. Occasionally, you will find a matchup where the opponent has decided to, like, invest heavily in their mana base because the core of their deck might only cost like $22 or whatever, and so they're going to spend $5 on just a really good standard tier mana base for their deck, and then Winter Moon can be okay there as well.
Yeah. It's
We've
good.
got
It's good
yeah,
for punishing greedy players.
yeah. Drew likes to bring it in if he sees a couple non-basics, and I generally only bring it in if I see 0 basic lands, or maybe if the opponent is running 3 basic lands to get from Swords to Plowshare or Path to Exile. That's the kind of match where I bring it in. Drew likes it a little bit more than I do.
It's worked out most of my games, not all of them, but most of them.
Spectral Sailor is in here for fighting over the initiative primarily. It is also perfectly reasonable against heavy control decks where the game is probably going to go long enough that you can flash it in on their end step and activate it, and then they have to answer it, not because the body is relevant, but just because it'll start putting you up cards.
Yeah.
And I also bring it in against 8 rack because the draw is good, and it's also a body that just kind of sits there and is like, no, you can't smallpox my seed shark. You're going to have to get rid of the Spectral Sailor first.
Yeah. So what are some cards we sideboard out for some of these?
Against the heavy combo decks, we're going to take out the Shatter the Skies and the Swords to Plowshares and bring in Spell Pierce, Spectral Sailor, Commandeer, Test of Talents. Unless they're a creature combo deck, and like Nadu, in which case we probably are just not doing that. We can take out the Braided Nets against creature light decks. We also can take out the Braided Nets against decks like Kuldotha Rebirth, where they're just trying to make like 12 creatures and tapping one of them doesn't matter. And we can bring in the Filigree Silexes for those decks because usually their creatures are going to be tokens. We can take out one of the Tinker targets in matchups where we don't need all of them. So, like, Shorakai always stays in, but if the opponent is not pressuring our life total, we can actually cut Batterskull and just leave Valor's Flagship in for the cycling ability to have an instant speed threat.
One thing I occasionally do in sideboarding, and it's been seen a few times on the channel, is I'll sideboard out the Shatter the Sky and the Swords, depending upon the matchup. But I'll also take out one of the Mist Veins. Not all of them, just one.
You
I never touched
know,
the Field Mist, but the Mist Veins.
yeah, the Mist Veins are kind of rough. They're not great, but they're doing kind of what the deck does. We could even like split the Mist Veins with some of the white green Borderpost and try that out, but it was easy. Like, it's probably correct to run 7 or 8, maybe 9. So we're just sitting on 8 for now until there's a reason to tinker with it.
Yeah. I think for my Atlanta list, I might try 3 Tezzeret and minus a Mist Vein, but I'm still deciding on that.
The border posts also discard 2 Tezzeret's plus ability,
They do.
and you can toss them to Shorikai. So they're kind of like, they're not the best thing ever. They set you up really well for balance, and they also trigger the token creatures. But at the same time, there's a bunch of ways to build a white blue control deck. You don't have to be on border posts if you don't want to.
Though they are really good with balance.
They are incredibly good with balance. They're great with Seed Shark and Monastery Mentor, and they're nice to have around with Tezzeret.
Yeah, so like they're all around good value, and you've seen on the channel a few times. And for those who've played with us in person, because I know a few of you watch, like they seem really innocuous. You have no idea what we're doing until like we actually do it, and they're like, "Oh, okay, that's what they do."
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's kind of how the deck works. We like going over it because it's one of our better decks, and like if we're going to get famous for a deck, this should be one of them.
I mean, people have been playing our lists at tournaments. I've seen some people just straight up says duplicated from ToadBrews or duplicated from Beyond the Machina.
Duplicate this list. It's really fun. You might like it.
Yeah, if you like weird control decks, if you're looking for a blue-white control deck that's also doing Tinker stuff, I recommend this list a ton. It's really fun. It has won multiple small events, just like 3-0, no problem. It's got the cards it needs to compete, especially against aggressive or mid-range decks.
It's not like top tier, but it could be.
I mean, the reason it's not top tier is that there's literally like 5 different blue-white control decks that you can play in this format. And it's hard to be better than Stand Still.
Very true.
All right, let's go ahead and jump over to the adventure deck that we're going to show off today.
Okay.
We played this in one of our gameplay videos, I believe. And we were running Luris as a companion, and I've decided to go off of Luris so that we can get some better adventure stuff going on.
I see it. Alright, so give us a rundown.
I don't see the adventure deck on your screen. Let me, yeah, there you go.
Got
it? Yep, so now we're looking at the adventure deck. All right, so this deck is built around the adventure mechanic from Eldraine and Wilds of Eldraine and some other sets. And our goal is just we get a spell, and then after the spell happens, it draws us a free creature, basically. And so we're trying to bank on that 2-for-1 advantage and kind of do a traditional Jund type game plan. Like Jund in Modern, Jund in Standard has always been kind of mid-range creature pile, grind you out type thing. And that's what our plan is here. We've got card draw adventure creatures. We've got removal adventure creatures. We've got some mana acceleration. We've got hand disruption. We've got removal for creatures. We've got removal for artifacts and enchantments. We've got a couple cantrips. And we have some lucky clovers to make our adventures better. So let's real quick go through what all of the adventure guys are doing. So we've got Murderous Rider, which is 3 mana for a 2/3 lifelink that when it dies, it goes in the bottom of your deck. But it also has Destroy Target Creature or Planeswalker, you lose 2 life for 3 mana as an instant. So this is a bad creature, but an okay removal spell. Especially if you need to kill a Planeswalker, you're not getting it much cheaper than this. We've got Bone Crusher Giant, which is a 3 mana 4/3, which where it becomes the target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, that opponent takes 2 damage. That's actually a pretty good body. And then the instant side is 2 mana for 2 damage to any target, and damage can't be prevented this turn. That's actually pretty relevant because some of the control decks in this format are using the Rest in Peace energy field block, So we have 4 main deck ways to push damage through that. And there's also occasionally you'll see Kami of False Hope or Spore Frog with Abiding Grace or Luris to kind of set up a fog block, and we can push through those as well. We've got Questing Druid, which has a 2-mana instant to exile your top 2 cards, and until your next end step, you can play those cards. So a little bit of card advantage. And then the body is a 2-mana 1/1. Whenever you cast a spell that's white, blue, black, or red, he gets a +1/+1 counter.
It's Mr. Miracle Grow.
It's Quarian Dryad with an adventure. We don't have the density of cantrips that the old Miracle Grow decks had for their Quarian Dryads. So this usually is only going to get up to like 3/3, maybe 4/4. But 3/3 for 2 that drew you 2 cards earlier in the game is usually okay.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Then we've got Mosswood Dread Knight, which is 1 in a black sorcery, draw a card, lose 1 life. And then the body is a 3/2 trample. And when it dies, you can actually cast it for a turn from your graveyard as its adventure side. So this is kind of a recursive threat and a cantrip in our deck, which their body does not trigger the druid, but the draw spell does. And then we've got 4 ignoble hierarchs. So like Jund in Modern used to play Deathrite Shaman. This is not that good. It's only giving us the mana part, but it's still a pretty good card. Like you can play turn 1 Duress, turn 2 Lightning Bolt their creature, play an ignoble hierarch, and then you've got a lot of options for turn 3 after slowing them down a bit. And if you're only attacking with one of the bigger creatures, so like a druid with 4 counters on it or a bone crusher, this is going to make it even bigger. And it becomes really hard to trade up for a 3-mana 5/4 or a 2-mana 4/4 when it's attacking. So we're not super worried about other creature decks. We're more worried about control decks, which the Giant is good against. We've got 4 main deck Duress, 4 main deck Inquisition. We're really going in on early discard as our plan against against combo decks. So we do want to have a lot of it. Arguably, we could like cut 2 Duress for 2 Cabal Therapy, but the budget isn't there for it as we have the deck built right now. So Duress just going to take their non-creatures, Inquisition going to take their bigger stuff, and then hopefully we can use Lightning Bolt or Swift End to just take out anything that's really big, like a 4/4 or 5/5, even if we have to trade a creature for it in combat. We do have Cling to Dust, so that's some main deck graveyard hate, but really it's in here to be one of the few 1-mana cantrips we have access to that can trigger the Questing Druid. So for 1 mana, we're going to put a counter on our Druid, exile a card, draw a card, and then it's also got Escape. So if we do go into the later game, this will probably draw us a second card. So it's kind of a think twice graveyard hate thing going on. And then we've got 4 Lightning Bolt. Again, this has been a staple in Jund decks on multiple formats where it's legal. It's going to clean up most of the creatures in the format that aren't Reanimator targets or Tinker targets. And it goes face a lot in this deck. This deck is pretty aggressive for a Jund deck. Like we're much more interested in turning our creatures sideways than something like a Liliana Modern deck would be. So Lightning Bolt hitting the opponent is very relevant. We've got 2 Lucky Clovers. So we don't want to run a full playset of these because if you have multiple of them in your opening hand, it can get really clunky. But this is just a 2-mana artifact where whenever we cast an adventure spell, which we have 14 of main deck, it just copies it. So we play 2 mana for Bone Crusher, and we do 2 damage to 2 targets, which can be the same target. We do Seek the Beast, and we get to play 4 cards on our next turn if we do it at instant speed. we can swift in to kill true creatures and lose 4 life, which, if we've been gaining life with a Murderous Rider already, we can probably afford to do that. But it's just a little engine for the deck that most decks don't get to take advantage of. We have Cinder Vines. The Luris list was running 2 Cinder Vines, and most of the Luris recast permanents got cut. But Cinder Vines has actually been really, really good
Okay.
because, again, it's pressuring the opponent really heavily. And then the modern Jund decks were running like Maelstrom Pulse and Abrupt Decay to deal with artifacts and enchantments. We don't want to commit the budget to Abrupt Decay, and I think Maelstrom Pulse is just pretty bad. So we actually have these Cinder Vines, which are pretty good against control decks, pretty good against some of the combo decks, and then just main deck naturalizes that trigger Questing Druid. For the land base, we've got Mountain Swamp, Double Forest for our basics. And then this deck actually invests pretty heavily in its mana base because it is a 3-color aggro deck. So we've got 4 Copperline Gorge, 4 Blackclave Cliff, 3 Blooming Marsh. So our turn 1, 2, and 3 are going to have access to really good lands. We've got 4 Carplucin Forest, and then 1 each of Sulphurous Springs and Llanowar Waste. Possibly you could cut a forest for another Llanowar Waste, but I do like to have access to some basics in this deck. Because they don't cost life, they never come in tapped, they just do the thing. And Swords to Plowshares and Paths to Exile kind of fluctuate up and down in price. So you will occasionally run into somebody who has swapped swords out for paths to save like 50 cents or whatever. And you want to have a couple basics for that in your decks where creatures are what you're trying to do.
Also, there is a growing trend in value vintage meta decks of packing in land hate.
Yeah.
Like Ghost Quarter and such. And you do not want to get caught slipping.
Yeah. It's even possible that it's correct to cut 2 Carplucin Forest for another mountain and another swamp.
But we're playing Jund, baby!
Yeah, we are Junding them out. For the sideboard, we've got about $3 in here. We've got 3 Ancient Grudge. So in the matchups where we are playing against artifacts, like Beanfinity or the Shark in our local metagame, Drew's playing the Shark. Maybe I'll play this deck. We'll see what happens. It's also really good against decks where they want to stick like 1 artifact. Like the Cloudpost decks against you are probably going to lean pretty heavily on Oblivion Stone. So you just want to be able to make sure that that doesn't wipe your board, because you can recover from it, but usually by the time you've recovered from an Oblivion Stone, they have bigger threats in play than you do. Like they have a Steel Hellkite and a Mere Battlesphere, and you're just out of luck.
Mm-hmm.
We've got 4 Ravenous Traps. This is for Dredge, Oops All Spells, Hogak, Reanimator sometimes. People have been talking a lot about Sneaky Snacker with some of the new cards. So I would like to dodge those. I've seen Gravecrawler decks with Goblin Bombardment doing pretty well in tournaments, so this can come in for those. And I went with this over Soul Guide Lantern because it is an instant that can trigger our Questing Druids. So we don't have to tap out for it on a turn 1 where we would like to play maybe Inquisition of Kozilek or Duress to try and hit something relevant. We can just hold this up, and if they have a full graveyard, we can cast it. We've got 3 Slaughter Games. So for the really dedicated combo decks, we can bring these in. We have to live long enough to cast them, so it's a 4-mana spell. So our goal is going to be like turn 1 Duress or Inquisition, turn 2 Ignoble, cast another Duress or Inquisition, and then turn 3 we can Slaughter Games them, and that should pretty much lock the game up. Because by the time they can draw out of that and not have their best card, we should be committing like Bone Crusher Giants and Questing Druids to the board.
Yeah.
We've got 3 Terminates, so against the heavy creature decks where like duress is not doing much, we can just bring in some more creature removal. Terminate is pricier than Power Word Kill, but it does kill angels and demons, which I have found to actually be relevant, especially against Oath of Druids decks. They're usually oathing for Iona, and they have to name black or red to shut off terminate, which means all of your green creatures you can still run and try to race them. Then also you just occasionally will see angels, demons, and dragons. Wizards has been pushing them recently, like the demon token from Unholy Annex. There's a lot of dragons in the new Tarkir set, which are pretty interesting for this format because the uncommon omen ones and the rare omen ones all seem to be pretty cheap and fairly powerful. So you want to be able to kill those with your sideboard removal spell, because it really is unfortunate when you're like, okay, I need more removal against this deck, but the removal I put in my sideboard, which could be like Abrupt Decay or Power Word Kill or Shoot the Sheriff, just doesn't kill what I need to kill in this matchup.
Yeah.
And then we've got 2 Theater of Horrors, which for the control decks, where you usually can grind pretty well, um, but if they have like a double Swords to Plowshares opener, they can slow you down quite a bit, at which point you need a draw engine. And the Mosswood Dread Knights are not super reliable as a draw engine against control because control is exiling your creatures most of the time. So we're going to bring in an enchantment, which enchantments are, I think, the hardest to answer permanent type and value vintage the way that most people build their decks. So unless they've got something like Hydroblast or Blue Elemental Blast taking up a couple dollars in their sideboard, they probably will only have 1 or 2 answers besides counterspells to an enchantment.
Yeah.
So if you can like duress a counterspell, uh, play a creature and they swords it, and then you stick a Theater of Horrors, you might not ride it all the way to the end of the game, but hopefully it will find you a couple cards and you'll be able to find a way to deal damage to them and cast it. But that's really the deck. It's a pretty simple Jund strategy, just taking advantage of the adventure mechanic. So we are now going to play these 2 decks against each other.
Yeah. Let me quickly find a picture. Because I thought of what I want the thumbnail to be. If I could find a blank version of it quickly. That's bad. Come on. Give me a second. That works. It's not a magic card, but it's also a magic card.
Okay.
For our dear viewer, you'll see it a little bit. Now, go to here. Go to Cockatrice. Switch. I need to log into Cockatrice quickly. Cockatrice, connect. You gonna set up a channel or set up a game?
So the game is called Drewtopia, and the password is frog.
Oh, what? FROG. Wrong password.
Capital F.
We're in.
Okay.
Let me switch the OBS to. Ta-da! Hello. And we're going to play this deck. Let's see how it does. How do you feel about the name Shark Adventure 2000 for the name of the episode?
I don't know. How do you feel about it? It's your channel.
I'm kind of vibing with it.
Well, let's roll it.
Let me write that down because it's pretty good.
What if we call it Shark Adventure 420 so YouTube can demonetize it?
No.
It's probably too late. I said it out loud. They're gonna do it.
It's 40 minutes in. No one's paying attention at this point. Which one's better, 2000 or 64?
64, absolutely. We stand Nintendo in this household.
Shark Adventure 64. These episode names are getting more esoteric as they go on.
Eventually, we're just gonna do acronyms of references to end jokes that nobody's ever heard of, and let the viewers figure it out. It's like a little puzzle that they can solve.
Yeah. But yeah, thank you for joining us, dear viewer. And we will get into the games now. You ready, Toad?
Yep, let's run it.
Run it.
I'm gonna roll some dice.
Oh no! I
Oh,
beat
no.
you by 1! Let's go!
I'm gonna reveal my companion, which is that I don't have a companion.
Oh, that's good. I want to draw 7. Yeah, that's playable.
Alright, start us off.
Planes. Tap the planes. Mystery and border post.
Yep.
Here you go. Or you go.
I want to play a Blackcleave Cliffs, and I'm gonna duress you.
Oh, I know what you're gonna take. I know what you're gonna take.
Yeah. Let's get that tinker out of here.
Yeah, I knew it. Yeah. Yeah, okay, that's fair.
And then I'll pass the turn.
On top of keep draw. Planes, tap. Border post. Here you go.
Yep. I'm gonna play a Blooming Marsh, and I'm gonna Inquisition of Kozilek you.
You got Narset.
Yeah, show me the goods. Yeah, those are magic cards. I'm gonna also run out and Ignoble Hierarch, and
Very
then
cool.
that'll be your go.
Untap, upkeep, draw. Play a planes, that's your go.
I'm gonna run out a mountain, and I'm gonna cast Cinder Vines.
Yeah.
Pass you.
Untap, upkeep, draw. Island. Is your dad mowing?
He sure is. Isn't it great?
Ah, great. That's your go.
I messed up. Oh well. I'll do it now. I'm going to stomp you for 2 damage,
I get stomped.
and then I'm gonna cast the giant.
Okay. So you're stomping me on my turn, and you're casting the giant on your turn.
No, I'm doing it all on my turn.
Okay, you have enough mana to do it. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'll pass you.
Untap, upkeep, draw. Island, tap the island. Border post, here you go.
Take 1.
Motherfucker, I forgot. I think you're gonna win this game.
It feels real good. I'm gonna go to combat.
Yeah.
And come in for 5.
I take 5. I'm at 12.
Alright. I am going to seek the beast.
I am the beast. Da 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 da.
Then I am gonna play this Blackcleave Cliffs tapped, and I'm gonna play the Questing Druid.
Amazing.
And then this is permanently exiled. Go ahead.
If I don't draw anything good, I'll just give you the game. Good game.
Okay. All right, so we're gonna do a little bit sideboarding.
Let's get rid of one of you. So, no, unlock the sideboard, damn you. Get rid of you. Get rid of one of you. Stop blocking.
Bad cards to take out to bring in my good cards.
My sideboard keeps bugging out.
I actually don't know if I have enough.
My thing is bugging out. It crashed.
Your mic also keeps bugging.
My mic also keeps bugging. Of course it does. Let me see if the connection's still good. Yeah, we're still filming. Socket error. Host not found. Socket error. Host not found. Let's close cockatrice. Or let's refresh it even. And then connect. Survey says. Sorry about all the technical issues, folks.
I can hear you, but you're just not in the game anymore.
Yeah, my cockatrice is bugging out. I'll restart it. Oh, Discord's bugging out too.
Well, that's been going on all day.
Yeah. Let's do cockatrice. Currently black screen. Sorry about that, folks. We'll get cockatrice booted up in a minute. Okay. Cockatrice, connect. There we go.
Alright, I see ya. Go ahead and sideboard, and then we can start it up.
Sideboard that. Sideboard that. Keep one of you in. Put two of those. Minus one of you. Put in you. What else do we want to slot out? Yeah, let's try it. I might regret this. Let's try it.
Alright, so you can take the play.
I'll be on the play. Control M. Survey says, playable.
I'm gonna keep.
I want to play Plains. I'm an island for turn. Here you go.
I'm gonna play Blooming Marsh and Duresio.
Reveal hand to ToadBrews. That's gonna be one of two options.
No, there's several options. I'm gonna take the regular. Well, you don't have mana for counterspell is the only reason I'm not probably taking that. Let's take the Winter Boon.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I mean, the counterspell is fine to take also. I'm just not as worried about it. I'll pass to you.
Cool. Lines up, upkeep, draw. Plains, here you go.
I'm going to run Carplucin Forest and take a point to make a red. And then I'm going to run out a Cinder Vines.
Yeah.
Pass turn.
Untap, upkeep, draw. Plains. Here you go.
I'm gonna drop a Copperline Gorge, and I'm gonna play Dread Whispers.
I want to test a concept. Lose a life.
All right. So you exile this, and then you don't get to exile anything else because all of my other ones are named Mosswood Dread Knight.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I was wondering why you brought in Test of Talents.
I was thinking it would work
Right.
differently.
You can see my library though. So here's my library.
Very cool.
Here's my hand.
Very cool.
Pass the turn to you.
Let's put these over here. Can we shorten this window a little bit? There we go. Alright, pass. Untap, upkeep, draw. Island. 1, 2. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Run out Narset.
Sure. Take one.
Yeah. Narset goes to 5. I will knock her down to 3.
In response to the ability, I'm going to Lightning Bolt her.
Yeah, she's just dead.
Yep, and then you can take your peeks.
Look top 4 cards in my library. Top cards of the library 4. What's more helpful here? Probably do I have to reveal it?
Yeah.
Braided net.
Okay.
Then put all those on the bottom. Move to bottom in random order. And then braided net's in my hand. Here you go.
I'm gonna Inquisition of Kozilek you.
Yep.
I'm gonna take the counter spell.
Yep.
And then I'm gonna cast Ignoble Hierarch and pass the turn to you.
Untap, upkeep, draw. Plains return. 1, 2, 3. Braided net, lose a life.
Yep.
Tap the plains for Borderpost. Bounce plains. Here you go.
End of turn, I'm gonna take a point, and I'm gonna Lightning Bolt you.
Yep.
I'm going to play Theater of Horrors.
Yeah.
And I'll attack you for 1.
Before you go to combat.
Yep.
There you go.
You're going to use that for 1 damage. Okay.
I'm saving it up for the draws.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Untap, upkeep, draw. Plains. Here you go.
I'm going to exile this under Theater of Horrors. I'd like to go to combat.
Net.
Okay. Go ahead.
Untap, upkeep, draw. Swords the ignoble.
Take 1.
Yeah. Here you
go. End of turn. I'm going to try to Ancient Grudge the Braided Net.
I want to lose focus. Lose 1.
Sure. Lose focus resolves. It's countered. I'll flash it back on the Braided Net.
Yeah. This seems like a bad matchup.
Upkeep. I'll exile Lightning Bolt, and I'll draw for turn. I'm going to Seek the Beast.
Yep.
I'm going to play Blooming Marshes land for turn. Druid is going to go on an adventure, and then I can't play the Cinder Vines. It'll be exiled. Go ahead.
Yep.
I could have held that for your end step, but you might draw a counterspell, which is bad because I need the cards.
Here you go. This really seems like a bad matchup.
I'm going to cast the Questing Druid.
Yep.
And pass the turn.
Untap, upkeep, draw. Plains, here you go.
Or upkeep. I'd like to go to combat.
Yep.
In for 1.
I'm at 11.
Okay. I will play this Karplusan Forest. I will Duress Heal.
You get Shatter the Sky or Shatter the Sky.
I'll take Shatter the Sky.
Which one?
Yeah.
Which one?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I can't Inquisition the other Shatter the Sky. So, that puts a counter on this guy. And then I think I'll just end the turn.
Yep. Untap, upkeep, draw. This is going to get destroyed, probably. 1, 2. Actually, keep one of those open. Tap that. Tezzeret, Betrayer Flesh.
Why are you playing 5?
There you go.
Okay. Yeah, I can't counter it.
But you have a Lightning Bolt still in your hand.
I have a Lightning Bolt exiled under Theater of Horrors.
Set counters to 5. Draw 2 cards and pitch 1 unless there's an artifact.
Did you take 1 when you cast Tezzeret?
I have now.
Okay.
Pay 3. Chromeho Seed Shark.
You've got a Chromo Seed Shark.
And that is a creature spell, so I'm fine.
Yep.
Here you go.
End of turn. I'm going to deal 1 to you with Theater of Horrors.
Yeah.
I'm going to play Llanowar Wastes. I'm going to Murderous Rider, Chromo Seed Shark.
Yeah.
I will lose 2 life. That'll go on an adventure. I will attack, and I will attack Tezzeret.
Tezzeret's at 2.
And I will pass the turn.
Untap, upkeep, draw. That's not irrelevant. I want to up Tezzeret. Draw 2, pitch 2 unless I pitch an artifact. Pitch a Plains and the Monastery Mentor. Pay for Shorkai.
Okay.
Here you go.
I'm gonna use Theater of Horrors to deal 1 damage to you.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna take a point from my Karplusan Forest to Ancient Grudge Shorikai.
In response, want to tap it. Draw 2. Pitch 1. Create a pilot.
Okay. And then I'll put a counter on the questing druid. I'll go to combat and attack.
Me or Tezzeret?
I'm going to attack Tezzeret.
I'll block with a pilot.
Yep. I'll play a Copperline Gorge tapped and pass the turn.
Yep. Untap, upkeep, draw. Not irrelevant. Add counter yellow. Draw 2. Throwing a border post. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Batter skull.
Take 1.
Yep. Here you
go. I am going to seek the beast.
Yeah.
I'll play Carplucin Forest. I will sack Cindervines to destroy Batterskull.
Yeah.
I will attack you.
I'm at 3, and you get the lightning bolt. You got it. All right, good game.
I will lightning bolt you. Yep. Those were quick. Do you want to play another one?
No, I think it's a bad matchup.
Well, you can switch to energy because we've already shown them the scientist.
Nah, we'll just stick with these 2 for this episode, just because we'll keep it short.
Then, all right, let's wrap it up then.
Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. We really appreciate it. Hopefully, these decks have proved interesting to you. We highly recommend you try to pick up your cards from a local game store or just digging through your bulk. We do not endorse any card buying sites until one of them sponsors us. Which, if you want to sponsor us, please, we love you.
And we're also not going to accept a sponsorship from anyone who busts unions. So you know who you are. For those of you who don't know who they are, that's 2CG Player.
Yeah. Sorry, not sorry. But yeah, so thank you very much, everyone, for watching. Our decks are fairly cheap. That's the point of value vintage. We should have gone over what it is at the beginning of the episode, but at this point, you should know what it is.
Yeah, at this point, we've got an entire video about what value vintage is and why it's great and how you can get into it. We can pop that up in the corner as a recommended video, so you can check that out if you want to.
Exactly. I'll have a little flag pointing up in the top right corner. So, thank you. We really appreciate it. Like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out. Leave a comment. It's great. We read all the comments. We reply to most of them, if not all of them. And yeah, on the left side of the screen, you will see a video catered to you. It's special for you. YouTube thought of you and recommended one of our videos. We appreciate it. And in the bottom left-hand corner, there's a whole playlist of all the other Magic Talk with Toads.
That's me. I'm Toad.
That's Toad. And on the left hand, you can subscribe. It helps. And yeah, thank you very much for joining us. Sorry for all the weird technical difficulties. Hopefully Discord is less buggy next time around. And hopefully Cockatrice is less buggy next time around. But this is just kind of a seat of our pants, spur of the moment thing. And we love doing it.
Yep, we found a way to get the video recorded, so we will try to struggle through whatever technical difficulties may happen, unless Moxfield goes down. It's pretty rough if Moxfield goes down to show you deck techs.
Yeah, we do support Moxfield. Moxfield does not need to sponsor us. We just like it.
Yep. Moxfield doesn't sponsor us. I sponsor Moxfield. How about that?
I sponsor Moxfield too. It's worth it. All right.
But yeah, thanks everybody for coming. Thanks for watching the video. We'd love to see you back.
Bye.
Bye.